When he would cause a stir, you know, people, yeah, it would be hard to have a normal church service if Elvis was sitting on the front row, you know. So, I mean, he couldn't go to church. He couldn't go to the movies. He couldn't go to a mall. And so whatever Elvis needed or wanted would have to come to him. And I think that's a lot of the reason for the gospel music.
And when I would watch him sing with the Stamps, and I was around that too, plus at the house, in his mind, that was his worship service.
I don't think he understood at the time that he was having a religious experience, but he definitely was at the time that he was singing those gospel songs.
He wasn't singing to hear himself sing lead. He was singing because he was, in a sense, he was sort of like worshiping, you know, with those guys. I really believe that.
The major part of his ministerial input came from television and TV evangelists.
You are loved. And that's the message that Rex and Maud Amy Hubbard have shared for more than half a century.
Rex was Elvis's favorite preacher. Elvis would always stop when Rex used to preach on Sunday mornings. If we were in a session around when that program came on, we had to stop and listen to Rex Hubbard singing. And Rex was, and his wife too, was a precious lady. I might want to make mention of that. She was a precious lady, and we all love them. I've known them all my life, it seems like. And Elvis wanted to hear anything that came out of Rex's mouth.
He would take what he had heard on TV through a televangelist and sing a gospel song and get the same feeling that others would receive on Sunday morning at the First Baptist Church singing, "Praise God from whom all blessings flow."
He brought gospel singers and gospel music and played the records and listened to, you know, the preachers on television. This was his time of worship, and this was his time to recognize some spirituality and to bring that to him.
His preaching came from the television. His worship was with those in his living room, and his fellowship was with the musicians and employees he considered his extended family. And on those around him, Elvis lavished his love.
I think if Elvis had, one of his strengths was the fact he had a big heart. One of his weaknesses was his heart was too big. And there were people that took advantage of that. And I think Elvis, a lot of times you hear the stories about where he would like give away a car to someone, a lady that was, he'd be at the Cadillac dealership and he'd give this woman a car or something. Those are the things that he really got off on. Those are the things that really meant a lot to him.
If he had a financial problem and he could work it out, he would give you whatever you needed for that. If you had an emotional problem, he would sit with you, he'd read a passage from the Bible and talk to you, help you try to figure out your problem. And if you had a health problem, you know, he would try to work that out. If he had to send you to the best doctors that he could find, he would do that. If you had to have some kind of surgery, he would pay for that.
At the end, Elvis had pretty much given away almost everything. And that's why we love him. I think it all boils down to, you know, I think a lot of celebrities, when you find out what they're like, you're disappointed, and then all of a sudden you don't like them or their music anymore. I think Elvis was just the opposite. I think everyone who encountered Elvis, who liked his music, once they met him, they loved it more than they ever loved it. He was really a person that you wanted to say, I hope I love this guy. And then when you met him, you did.
Growing up in a Pentecostal church, he had seen God work powerfully, and he threw himself into his faith as passionately as his music.
Who made the mountains? Who made the trees? Who made the rivers flow to the sea? And verses the rain when the earth is dry. Somebody bigger than you and I. Who made the somebody bigger.